Good day. This is Jeffrey Jacks, candidate from Missouri House 72. That district comprises St. Anne and Overland and a small portion of unincorporated St. Louis County. Today we'll be discussing with St. Anne Mayor Amy Poelker the proposed merger of the city and county, formerly known as Better Together. I would consider Amy an expert on this subject. She's been involved in it for many years in opposition to the proposal, and she will be explaining why. So, welcome, Amy. How are you today?
Good, Jeff. How you doing?
Great, and thank you for being here. Let's start with a brief history of how the idea of merging our city and county started.
Well, first, I kind of got to take it back to why it happened, why this conversation is moving to begin with. As early as 1844, citizens in the city of St. Louis started trying to figure out a way to divorce from St. Louis County. And in 1876, the Great Divorce actually happened, which for the city created what was called home rule, which means that they pretty much got to make their own rules and the state stays out of most of that, so that they were able to basically shape their political and economic structure going forward. Back then, what was going on is that people were leaving from the city of St. Louis and moving out into the county. The county at the time probably had about $14 million in taxable wealth, while the city had $148 million in taxable wealth. And the citizens, the governing, they really didn't think that it was fair that the county residents were able to share in all that wealth. So they began the process of the Great Divorce. And since then, there's been 5 major and 7 to 10 mini attempts to reunite the city and the county, with the first one starting in 1925.
Amazing.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, the city residents didn't want the people to benefit from all the money they made back then. And now the city needs the county's money.
So, why do the proponents claim the merger is the best way for our region to move forward?
Basically, the city itself they have bonded out, by state law, they're only allowed to bond out $2 billion. And they have bonded out all their money, so they have no place else to go to get extra revenue from to help businesses build, etc., right? So what they claim will happen if we do a city-county merger is that the city will benefit because of the size of the area. Aside from the size of the region, because realistically, they want to include St. Charles in this too, making it 2.8 million residents to benefit from. The proponents themselves claim that it's best for economic development and being able to attract more businesses to the city of St. Louis. And they're not even talking about the county. We all know that the crimes that occurred in the area have scared people from going to the city of St. Louis, giving them such a reputation because their crime stats have been shared by nationwide media, scare people from going to the city of St. Louis. Most of our county residents won't go, as well as Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 2. All of them have left the St. Louis market. Brown and Crouppen, they've left. They're just losing businesses like crazy.
Well, my research tells me that in 1950, St. Louis's population peaked at 850,000 people. The people in power today are the same party that took over in 1950. It's reality.
They started out with over 1 million, and now they're down to 280,000.
Yeah, they're below 300,000. You're right about the crime, of course. Personally, they have businesses, they have the sports teams, they have the arch, they have, a casino down there now. You're right on the Mississippi River. And I think the crime is keeping people out. And I don't see how a merger would cure their crime problem. They can't recruit police down there.
No, I don't see how that would solve their problem. Again, they're centering all their business activity around entertainment, and entertainment is not necessarily the best economic engine that they're looking for.
As a youth, downtown was a destination. I remember going to Famous and Bar, which May Company. The Railway Exchange Building is abandoned.
Kiel Auditorium, it was a huge entertainment area.
St. Louis Mall, good shopping destination.
They've rebuilt their They've rebuilt their idea of what they are 4 or 5 times just in my lifetime.
So, what would you say are the main elements of the Better Together or the merger plan as we know it today?
Well, their plan, what they really think will fix things is the taking the crime stats, and instead of making them look like there's so many because they're being divided by 280,000 people, to spread those out amongst 1,280,000 people, and therefore it looks like the percentages are way lower. They tried in 2019 to do a city county merger, and the elements of that were to merge every municipality within St. Louis County, the neighborhoods in the city, just merge all of those together. It would have taken all the fire departments, all the schools, all the municipal services and taxes, their police departments, and merged all of that together so that they became one mega conglomerate metro city.
So, you're saying we would lose our local police, we'd lose our local control of schools, we'd lose our parks, our roads would no longer be controlled by our local municipalities, and basically all our other services. Here in St. Anne, your board does a
Exactly.
great job negotiating, as an example, our trash contract. You
Thank
made
you.
sure our seniors got a big, healthy discount. And even without it, I think our rates are very competitive compared to a lot of other areas. We have one of the best police forces in the region. It is
Most
internationally
definitely.
accredited. I have the honor of serving on that police commission board, which is a function of citizen oversight. And it's great, in my opinion, that we have local leaders. I can literally walk around the corner and go knock on my mayor's door if need be. And,
True
you
enough.
know, it's true. I think you have to be available to your constituents, and we would lose that.
That in this major mega city, you wouldn't even get to elect them for 5 years.
I was going to ask you about that. So, what you're saying is the county executive, or whatever their title would be in office 5 years. You couldn't vote them in or out. And that individual would be allowed or be mandated to appoint the new, I guess you call them mayors of the,
Councils, they would be the new council.
and the plan calls for 33.
33 council people that are handpicked by the new mega city mayor, which, by the way, in the last proposal to whoever was in power in 2020, like Page is in power right now. So even if he were to get out of power, if that had passed, he would still be the person that wound up being the mega city mayor.
And the 33 council people would, in effect, be
Handpicked
similar to,
by him 2, 3 years later.
okay, and wouldn't they be performing the function for 33 new, we'll call them districts?
Yes,
They would be
districts.
acting as in essence mayor of those particular districts, or the executive of the 33 districts as proposed. Is that correct?
Right, and those districts would be made up of municipal and unincorporated areas. So, like, my guess around here, it might be Bridgeton, St. Anne, Overland, Breckenridge Hills, Edmondson, Woodson Terrace, and St. John might all make up a district. They would also make those decisions on policing. Right now I have, what, 45 officers, 5 on shift, 24/7, right? We'd probably be 1 amongst all those areas.
I know a sad story of someone who had to call county. They live in unincorporated. It took them a long time to respond, and this individual's son literally bled to death in the mother's arms. If they're not at your door in less than 5 minutes, something major is going on, because we have 5 officers on the street as we speak right now, even with the snow. They're out there right now. So, um, I guess you would tell me, and we would share the belief that this would bode very bad for most county residents.
I believe so for most county residents. I mean, um, the city would be where the new governing body would sit, is in the city of St. Louis. And even if the city were to just come within the county as a municipality, then they would get 5 council seats, giving them the majority of the seats combined in the council to be able to make most of the decisions favorable for the city of St. Louis.
Well, based on their track record in the city itself, I don't think they'll make any beneficial decisions for our region.
Well, they couldn't even make a decision to get the people necessary to get the merger to happen to begin with. The freeholders, they couldn't even pick their own freeholders in the last 2019 session.
Based on their track record, I don't want them controlling my future. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the merger?
Just of one new fact. I think right now we have this group, and though they claim that they are not pushing a city county merger, Channel 4 is running a series called First Alert Forward. It is exempling all of the things that are good and bad and not so good throughout the St. Louis region, and this is kind of like a stepping stone to, again, what I'll call a media brainwashing, that they put all these ideas in people's heads first, and then they will come probably around later with another push for Better Together.
Well, I'll just conclude with this. In my campaign, I have been out to approximately 3,000 doors. The first issue listed on my material is Stop the City County Merger. The greatest majority agree we need to not merge with the city. So I am here to be the voice of the people, and the people agree that it's a bad idea. We'll just keep it that simple. It's a really bad idea. And I
Yeah.
know you share that thought too.
The people of the county would be paying to fix all their streets, all of the sidewalks, everything you've seen that is broken down in there. We would wind up paying for all of that.
We're doing good to keep our city in the great condition that it is.
Well, yeah, there's $589 million missing in the 2019 proposal. I mean, that's how many more tax dollars in 2019 they would have had to come up with to merge. They'd merge, take everybody's money all together, and you would still wind up short $589 million.
So over $500 million. Wow. 6/10 of a billion. And it's probably only gotten worse.
Probably.
Well, folks, there you have it. We ask that you oppose the city county merger. And if you want a strong voice in Jefferson City, because this will take a statewide vote
It will.
to make this happen. And if you really care and want to make sure you have a strong voice in Jefferson City who will loudly oppose the merger, vote for me, District 72, Jeffrey Jacks. Visit my website, jeff72.com, jeff72.com. You can volunteer through the site, you can make donations, and of course, a comment form I will receive directly to me your emails. So I want to thank you, Amy, for taking the time out of this cold, snowy Sunday. You can't really
True
leave the
enough.
house.
Kind of stuck in the house, even
Yeah,
though
we're
my
all,
streets are looking pretty good.
yes, that's a nice thing. I've been in the city after a snow. They can't really say that in most side streets. St. Anne, I mean, they got and plow all our streets, don't they?
Yes,
Literally
they do.
every street has been plowed in St. Anne at least twice already.
We have the best.
We really do have a great street department, a great parks department, a great
Great
board,
police department.
great police
Great
department.
board, yes. We all
And
work together very well.
this is, most cities should use us as their template, not what goes on in St. Louis City proper. So with that, again, I'm going to thank you for your time. It was great to see you and have you as a guest today. And again, check out my website, jeff72.com, jeff72.com. If you want true change, the right kind of change for Missouri, I need your vote. Thank you again.
Thanks.